is Zoe. I am the Tipsy Psychic, and today we're going to talk about the compatibility between a Scorpio, Sagittarius cusp and a Aries, Taurus cusp. First off, you guys make great travel buddies. You both go on adventures together, and you both like to initiate things. You might find yourself feeling a little calmer with them. You both like to take action. You would share similar values, but you know that you can't fully rely on them unless you are the motivator in this relationship. You'll find that you might always be in the position where you're always having to tell them how you're feeling or like what's on your mind or what's up, and you'll have trouble with that. You don't need to give a play-by-play of where you're at emotionally all the time. And you might find that they don't react the way you need them to. And that aspect of things might seem very one-sided. And eventually you'll realize that things are very emotionally shallow between the two of you. This is a very easygoing relationship. Don't forget to explore with each other and kind of test your boundaries. You can get very comfortable and then you don't spice things up enough. You accept each other. It's beautiful. The only time you both can work together, like career-wise, is if you're both kind of independent on your own. So like freelancers, you Scorpio Sagittarius are great when it comes to art and like just kind of doing things on your own, like consultants, advisors, things like that. You both have to be like that and working on a project together. But if you're both working for someone else, that's when things get really bad. You have trouble dealing with rules. You're always the kind of person who's trying to test boundaries and kind of go above and beyond in your own way. So like when it comes to working for someone else, problems often arise and you're always the kind of person to put your own spin to things. And so working together would be a little tough, especially if it's under someone else's rule, if that makes any sense. And as far as working together in this combination, you always have to have like a give and take. You both have to be able to get something out of the project you're doing, especially if you want things to be really successful. You make great friends as well as romantic partners. You basically work in all types of relationships together. Pride can be a challenge when it comes to the both of you. And your spats. You have to put aside your ego and work together when it comes to troubles and obstacles that come your way in this relationship. You are actually the kind of combination that is very likely to stay in touch even after a relationship is over. Like, you know how they say don't befriend your ex? Well, usually you guys are cool being friends afterwards. You usually know each other a little bit before you end up starting to date, or exploring your romantic feelings for one another. You both have a lot to bring to the table when it comes to working together. And you each have very different skills that you bring to a project. Sometimes you can be a little possessive. You might have trouble not putting yourself first and just doing what's best for them without an ulterior motive from time to time. You both get each other very well. You have an understanding about each other. You got each other's back. Somehow, when you're with them and the world just kind of fades away, your mind is still very clear. You're very good at kind of keeping good logic and not letting the love goggles get in the way of your thought process and impulses. However, when it comes to emotions, that is the tricky part. Because when you are together, emotionally, the world just kind of fades away. It's only you and them. And yeah, you guys could conquer the world. So when they are the only person in your life, and no one else matters, you gotta remember to still respect the people around you. Just because you might not have as much time for them does not mean you can treat them poorly or disregard them in any way. When you both have to work with each other, like say you're both co-workers or something and you're on a project together and you're working for another business, you might feel like you're both slacking off a little bit and you're not really your best self. You need it to be fun. Fun is very important to you. Living together is very tricky because for some reason commitment will always be a problem with you. When it comes to emotions, you may feel like there's some kind of missing deeper connection, but you won't see the signs of it till later on. No matter how much you respect each other, you're still very loyal to each other, and you may find that you're both free spirits and you both fully experience the all-in kind of feeling, but not together. When it comes to doing business together, but being on separate teams, then your concern is more about yourself a lot of the time. The way you go about projects is so different. You like to focus on what you can get out of it and how it can be beneficial for you. And your Aries Taurus, you both are very seductive with one another. You seduce each other. You're very attractive to one another. It's magnetic. It's definitely not one-sided. When you guys meet, when you're in a relationship, it's often so strong. The pull is so strong that you end up being unfaithful to the other person that you care about. It's like you can't resist them and they cannot resist you. And usually there's such a undeniable spark and the passion is so intense that it ends up tearing the relationship apart. But it's kind of like a trap because if you don't try to be with them, then it could drive you crazy. And you'll resent your other partner, the one you're actually in a real relationship with. But then again, you also lose that partner if you go with your Aries Taurus, if you go with each other. You'll never forget them and they'll never forget you. As brother and sister, you are likely to get along, not just as adults, but as kids. If you have an affair with an Aries Taurus, there is no way your current relationship will survive. The pull will be too strong and you'll resent your loved one and you'll regret it. Expect to break a heart. If you're already married to someone, they will be devastated. Expect it to happen. But here's the thing. If you're in a love affair together and you're screwing up the rest of your life, when you're in that relationship, you guys will be able to lean on one another and help each other get through the hard times, no matter how fucked up it all is. You will not be an easy kid if you have an Aries Taurus parent, because they can be very overwhelming and very territorial of you. In a relationship, you have so much faith that things are going to work out great that sometimes you kind of forget to care about everyone else in your life and you kind of push them out of the picture. And you stop caring as much about other people's feelings. Your morals can get very twisted. Your sense of right and wrong. And when you're together, there is no sense of regrets. As a Scorpio Sagittarius, kids aren't necessarily your forte. So if you had kids, you might find them very difficult to tolerate. You might find them kind of exhausting. So you can be impatient, especially with an Aries Taurus kid. Just be aware of those things if you have a parent-child relationship, vice versa with them. And sometimes staying friends is the best with everything. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you are on the cusp of Scorpio and Sagittarius, let me know if you have ever dated an Aries Taurus cusp and let me know what you think of them. Is this accurate? How do you feel? How was the relationship? Curious for research purposes only. I only know one Scorpio Sagittarius in the entire universe so far. And all I can say to them is, I hope you're having a great day. Okay, bye.